Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
This week is Keith and the Girl week.
This is it.
We have a bunch of events. Get your tickets now. keithandthegirl.com/tickets. And thank you everyone who is a Keith and the Girl VIP member.
Thank you.
Get discounts on all the tickets to Keith and the Girl week at keithandthegirl.com/VIP.
By the way,
be a great week, I promise. Yes, Chemda.
that discount ends on your birthday this Friday. So get your tickets now. Get that discount now.
The discount ends on Friday, but the week stuff starts on Thursday the 14th.
That's right. It's weird math. We always like to do weird math.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, I've been working a lot on the Dad Emails book, keithandthegirl.com/dad, D-A-D. I'm turning it into a book. And I'm surprised all over again by things.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I know I'm not writing the book, but every time I come across it, every time I'm reading How You're Going, or when we did the reading, when people remind me of when we learned of your dad's jingling libido, I'm like, oh, that was so early on. That had to be like the peak of it. How did we keep going? It's just over and over again.
He found a way. He goes, he wrote to me, thinking he's writing to my ex-wife, you make my libido jingle. And then that same night he writes to me, hey, how's my wonderful son doing? I'm like, that means you just whacked off. Anyway, I'm looking at that part in the book, and I said, next time that he brings up, this is, being transcribed from the audio, next time he brings up gay people being sinful, I'm going to go, but Dad, you whacked off to me. And then Google Docs puts a suggestion and goes, consider changing it to whack me off. And I'm like, no, Google Docs. Big difference.
That's not grammatically more correct.
It changes the whole story. He whacked off to me.
Yes.
Not of me, not with me, not me off.
Try it with a comma. See if it works.
I'm very excited about all this. All right, look. My birthday's coming up, but before the celebrations, I got to get some things off my chest. First and foremost, I saw the season finale of Apple TV Plus's Severance.
Okay.
I am livid, and I hate that fucking liar Ben Stiller.
Wow. How many episodes are you in?
9, all of them. And, you try to hold off judgment knowing there's going to be an ending to it, because I heard Ben Stiller in interviews saying there's going to be a satisfying ending to any questions you have. I don't even know what they do for a living.
Oh, so he didn't say at the season finale you're going to feel very unsatisfied and livid?
He
That's
didn't.
Not how his...
No, he said you will be happy. Everything has an ending. You just lied and made that up so that we'd watch it. And you didn't think we'd be mad at the end, but who cares? Because we watched it and you have a new pool. Fuck you. And I'm talking about, this is like if I was saying bad words against the great Kurt Russell. Ben Stiller's a fucking genius. His comedy is fantastic. The Ben Stiller show was excellent. He did Escape from Dannemora. That was drama. He directed it. That was fantastic. But this is a kick in the balls and a lie right to my ears. And he needs banned from the Academy.
Oh, wow. Okay. This show is called Severance. First of all, when did you start hating it? Like at what episode? Do you remember?
Right away. Honest to God, right away. But you assume it's going to go somewhere.
Okay.
Because I was told it goes somewhere.
Okay.
Well, people who are just listening kind of made the face like, that's on you. So that's where that came from. That outburst. Because a genius promised me that there will be an ending. And I'm like, I got to episode 8 and I'm like, well, now it's impossible. And then I got to 9 and of course it is. They just added more questions. There's a season 2 coming. Let's wait 2 years for that. That's how we like to watch TV. You want to binge nothing and then what? And I think people are lying to themselves about loving it. I wrote on Twitter, so Severance can eat a dick, right? Pam, our buddy Pam, she goes by TV Pam, so she must know TV. Loved it, she said. How? Nothing happened. I think people are making up TV shows like what happens when nothing happens.
Now, okay, hold on one second.
Because
First
somebody
of
has to
all,
explain it to me. Here's another one. Loved it. Another one. We liked it. What the fuck? How?
it is no surprise that you don't like something. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Okay.
Everything Ben Stiller did, but continue.
Sure. Okay. Now, not only did they get you to watch all 9 episodes, but Ben Stiller also got you to watch at least one interview. You are knees deep in with this Ben Stiller. So I see why you're
Yeah.
livid.
Yeah.
Now, you asked me to watch the trailer.
Don't trust your heroes. I know what you're going to say. Don't trust your heroes. I liked you too much, Ben, and you got me right in the keister.
Well, you had me watch the trailer, which was 3.5 minutes long, which I was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to watch this show. So I could watch a 3.5 minute trailer, which I think could just tell you the whole thing. Anyway, I'm a minute in, and all they did was explain it. You know, you go to work and all you know is work. You go home, all you know is home. So you don't bring your home life to your work life. You don't bring your work life to your home life. Now, first of all, perfect timing for this, right? Because
Because now if you go to your bedroom, you forget what was in the living room because we're working from home.
yeah, like
I don't know where any of my juices are. Yeah.
It's been very difficult to separate work life and home life. Now all of a sudden your children are dropping into your meetings. Like perfect timing. I don't know if you wrote this through the pandemic, and maybe this is more autobiographical than we know. I haven't watched it yet. I'm picturing
like if somebody's kid pops up and they're on CNN, but the guy doesn't know who this kid is because he's in work mode.
Right. I figured, shenanigans like that would happen. I figured there'd be like maybe some sort of sense of humor. I didn't go any further because that was just the explanation of what's happening. I would like to watch the show. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, they tell you that right away. That's the very first minute of the actual show. That's all you learn.
I don't believe you. And the thing is I don't.
And that's the world we live in.
I don't like the okay here.
Okay.
Well,
Set aside 9 hours to burn yourself alive and then come back to me.
We have said that I like slice of life movies and you don't. So maybe this falls under that.
Sure. You also thought Superman was slice of life. That's his slice of life. No, this is horrible. This is horrible. There's no fucking explanation to things. So just admit at the end of season 10, I learned something maybe. I don't know what they do for work. Okay.
Also, you didn't like Squid Game. I don't mean to trigger you. It is almost your birthday, but that was an amazing show.
Is God bless amazing.
It was
another show that you didn't know who does the detective work for. Did his proof in his phone get lost? That's part of it. And the end. The part is that you don't know anything. I don't know. I like knowing things.
What happened?
I was raised when we had to read books in school. You had to explain what happened.
But you didn't. Not back then and not now.
I shouldn't have. Now you can't. Now you can't.
You can't.
Because nothing fucking happened. Keith,
right, well,
the girls in the marble. I know the girls in the marble. I know. The thing was 12 fucking hours, Hemda. The girl in the marble.
The girl in the marbles was big. The girl in the marble.
Oh, it's groundbreaking. For 12 hours, I saw a girl in a marble.
It's more emotionally stimulating than chopping heads off, even though you got that in that show also.
They made chopping off heads goofy. Yes. I don't know if you guys ever seen heads getting chopped up, but not one part of you goes, well, that's fucking goofy.
Yeah, it was a little goofy. There's a lot of goofy to it.
He's a liar, and Ben still lied to me, and he lied to everybody, and everybody's just okay because they don't want to sound dumb. You didn't learn anything about it. At the end, they just throw shit at you like they're telling you something, but that's only so you see season 2. None of them make sense. His wife doesn't make sense. Don't worry, I got it. It doesn't make fucking sense.
You think the sequel is just for his third pool?
It probably. He doesn't give a shit. And by the way, now that I think about it, they said you directed the first 3, Ben. Somebody else directed the middle 3. You directed the last 3. Why didn't you do them all? Something about time consuming and his kids. No, because you didn't give a fuck either.
Wow.
You directed all of Dannemora. You didn't give a fuck in your own show that somebody could just direct it other than you right in the middle. Because who cares? Because those are nothing episodes.
What if he actually had family stuff? You should be able to step away, work and home. Aha. You see that?
What if he did? Keith, you didn't do your research on Ben Stiller and his family stuff. Do you know his great-grandmother is in a hospital?
He said it's family stuff.
Uh-huh. But he had to put it out and have 3 people direct it then. That's what you had to do. And you knew your family stuff would be over when you did the last 3 because it was all a major plan.
Or it would have to go on without him and life still goes on.
You know what I want for my birthday, Kenda?
No.
To give you my Apple TV password, you watch the show and go fuck yourself.
You probably don't know your Apple TV password. We tried this with HBO and I have my own account now. Thank you.
Sometimes these passwords, they're not so.
They elude
easy.
you. It's bananas.
Sometimes it connects to my
It's all with the same
cable.
password.
Sometimes it connects to. Look how nice Kenda was when she wanted my password. Now she didn't get it, and I can burn in hell. That's interesting.
It's not interesting. It's just reality. Oh, Kenda, let me give you my password. Psych. It's my birthday. Psych.
Oh, my God. I dare you to watch this show. We put up the poll the other day. Do you enjoy listening to Keith and the Girl listener letters? Do you enjoy hearing those? I didn't know. Maybe we're reading too many.
Now, is it fair that I voted? Because I enjoy them.
What did you vote? Yes or no? Are you like, it's too much? 17 years. We fucking get it, Keith.
I voted yes.
I voted yes, too.
Yeah.
But on our forums, keithandthegirl.com/forums, 17.65% say, nah, enough already. Those were your choices, by the way. Yes, exclamation point, or nah, enough already.
That's true. I mean, my parents can't say something nice about me. You don't want to hear about other people doing it.
How it, what are you going to do? How this letter changed your life, or this letter saved a person, or this letter made somebody leave abuse. We get it, Keith. We get it. So I feel bad for these letters that I shouldn't read to you because it'll upset some of you. But they were already sent in, so I'm going to do an abridged version and read parts of letters that people wrote in. So that's my way of saying thank you to the letter writer and my way not to bore assholes. Okay?
Okay, let's take on this challenge. Here we go.
This is from Maggie. I've been listening since 2015.
No. You're already saying too much. It's from Mag. Oh, no, Maggie, I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, they were proud that you were able to sing after your frozen diaphragm, but you get the point. All right, here's one from Hunter. The effect that Keith and the Girl had on my life in just 4 years is unfathomable. Thank you, Hunter.
No, read it.
Thank you. Pam, this is TV Pam. In 2018, we had an hour-long phone call through the Kickstarter. In 2019, I flew to New York to have dinner and game night with you both. That was very fun. Thank you for that, Pam. Other thoughts? Dave. My girlfriend quickly became a fan as well, and we had our first Pound Town sleepover. We appreciate you both very much. Congrats. That's the gist, I have to assume. Iris says, I listened to your last episode. Kenda just texted me here. Hunter said about OMAC. Yeah, he loves it. Changed his life. Okay, you get it. Let's see. Iris, I listened to your last episode. You were talking about alcoholism, and you really showed me a way to look at there being a higher power if I don't believe in God. Okay, well, hope you heard it. Done. And that's the ketchup on letters. Everybody wins with me. You vote, you get it your way. I'm Burger King over here.
This is the funniest but saddest version of letters.
Yeah. It's nice. Some of these are pages long, but you did good.
God.
All right, here's one. Hi, Keith, says Shannon. I've never emailed before, but I've listening for years. Don't remember how long, but I found the pod. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I always pause theirs when yours comes up. I've unsubscribed. Now, I agree with this. Listen to this. Tell me what you think. I've unsubscribed to several pods in the last few months because they bombard you with constant ads. They talk all over each other and their guests. They have shit audio quality. They apologize for stupid shit instead of standing behind what they say and think. One pod host kept yawning, if you can fucking believe that. I can. I hear him making and eating sandwiches on these fucking podcasts. Anyway, I can tell you guys try really hard to have quality audio and production and you hold your guests to a standard. And it makes you one of the best in the business. It is funny when we do our pre-show stuff and we're setting up somebody's mic, but they work in a radio station and we tell them how their equipment works.
I know.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. Xerxes is like, what is your mic plugged into? And they go, oh, this whole time it wasn't plugged in.
Right. right. Anyway,
But-
you're celebrating 4 years on your podcast, and congratulations, and congrats to SiriusXM.
But Severance, our work and our home life has melded, and maybe they don't know how to manage.
I compare all other pods to your pod, which has ruined me, because I honestly can't think of any that are at your standard. I get the need to advertise, but thanks for not making us listen to pre-recorded shit. Agreed. Agreed. I listened to, for example, David Spade, and who's his older twin that did SNL, the church lady. They have a podcast, and they talk with celebrities that were on SNL. And they're funny as fuck. They're quick as fuck. But then they go to an ad, and the first time I'm like, oh, it's clever, it's funny. But then you just keep repeating it, and I know all the little puns and punchlines and where it's gonna go next. Just do it again. This is why I love doing the ads live. We have to do ads, then this is the way you're gonna get them. Just a little different each time. And then sometimes these podcasts go brrring, and that means it's gonna go to an ad, but there's no ad. Brrring, and we're back. That means you didn't listen or give a fuck. There's no excuse for it. I don't care if some podcatchers have ads and other ones don't or something. It's so fucking weird and shows you don't give a shit. You're in, you're out, says this person. It's very funny. It doesn't feel like a money grab, and that all you care about is ad money. This message is long enough. Keep up the good work, Shannon. Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.
Oh, my God. I have a phone call to make. What am I talking about? BetterHelp. I'm talking about online therapy. And I won't be using the same puns last time I told you about it. No, I love it. I love BetterHelp. Ketanji uses it. I use it. And imagine where I'd be without it, right? BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on camera. And if you're in a car right now and you're rolling your eyes like, didn't we just talk about ads? Look to your partner and go, actually, this is your problem. And let them know. Because if both of you are going, we don't, and then tell the other one, it's a fun game. Well, here's your problem. You can work on that. Or you're both fine. No one has a problem with the other person. Great. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try. 2 million people have done it. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/KATG. That's BetterHelp.com/KATG.
Now, if you had a problem using /KATG because you're like, oh no, that's weird, I'm going to save money, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, boom, there's your first session. But use the code and then talk to your therapist about how that made you feel uncomfortable. That's all right.
Of course.
They've heard it all before.
Big news you may have heard. We have our first black woman on the Supreme Court, Ketanji Jackson. Finally, a black woman was good enough to be with the men and white women. And we can put them on there. So that's good news. They made it with a vote of 53 to 47.
Yikes.
Meaning, of course, all 50 Democrats can vote did. And then 3 Republicans were like, okay. But, you got to go, no way. It's not on my team. There's no way I can love this. Now, I hope I can sometimes have an opinion on the things she rules on, but I don't know if I can because I'm white.
Oh, boy.
Right? I was told about the slap. I don't know. Where can I? Maybe I don't understand. I didn't go to school for it. But here's what I'm very proud. This is very exciting news. And you know what I did, by the way? I mailed Ketanji Jackson Third Love bras. Because you don't want to be up there pinching and scratching and itching. You want a bra that's comfortable, and they have half sizes. I have troubles buying shoes. I don't know if I'm 12, 12 and a half, 13. Can you imagine if there weren't half sizes for that? No, a bra, you try it, you go, oh, finally a size that fits me. If for some reason it doesn't, take it back. They send it to a woman in need. They fix it, that kind of thing. But you've seen these bras poking out. These are seamless. Now, some of these bras, they poke out. I'm like, is this a Madonna bra? And the store's like, no, that's regular bras. I'm like, what the fuck?
Shout out to the 90s.
Yeah. I'm like, does Britney Spears work here? They're like, no, that's a regular bra. I'm like, I need Third Love then.
No shit though.
because
The only real bras I was able to wear after open heart surgery was the Third Love bras that I had.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't really bras. I know that you heard this stuff from people where the metal wire is just digging into you.
yeah.
I've had bruises because the metal wire came out of the little thing, and I didn't know because you're just so used to poking that it poked you all day and it bruised you. Like things like that really happen in a bra. So these were soft but still held everything together and were okay after I got opened up and stitched back.
They're also Third Love is the largest donor of undergarments in the U.S. They partner with organizations across the U.S. They've donated over $40 million worth of bras to help people in need. So it's a good company. Feeling is believing. Give your boobs the 24/7 comfort and support that they deserve. Upgrade your bra today. Get 20% off your first order at thirdlove.com/KATG. 20% off thirdlove.com/KATG. Now, big exciting news. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are engaged.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Julie too. Oh, so Bennifer's back officially. Were they married the first time?
I feel like they were at least engaged. I don't remember if they were married, but I do.
Of course, they were engaged. They were on that yacht with his hand on her butt in the video. That's engaged.
Taking away her powers. So, right? Did people get upset about that?
I couldn't help but feel a tinge of like, because the women in videos are always the dude's like, ass, right? And now you're the ass in your own video. I felt the same way about the Beyonce video that Jay-Z appeared in. And during his appearance, she was basically giving him a lap dance. And I get it. It's supposed to be more empowering than how I'm thinking about it. But that's what women were in videos for so long. And now it's your video. And I couldn't help but feel that tinge.
Right.
I don't know that I, started a campaign or joined a campaign about it. I don't even know if I said it out loud, really. But it was like, oh, no, we're cool with this. That's what she wants. So that's what we like.
It does not look like they were married, by the way.
Okay.
That's not popping up for me. But I do see.
Were they coupled and then uncoupled?
They were definitely coupled. Then they got uncoupled. Then, Ben Affleck marries Jennifer Gardner.
He's just into Jennifer's.
Right, Jennifer Lopez. Well, you already got things monogrammed, and then she married Mark Anthony. But so when you're Jennifer Gardner or somebody else that's dating Ben Affleck, let's say.
Wait, but Mark Anthony. Oh, J-Lo dated Mark Anthony, right?
Yeah, not Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck didn't date Mark.
No,
Anthony.
I thought Ben Affleck's ex. I can't always keep track, and they like to mix and match.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but picture you dated Ben Affleck, and then the second. It'd be like if the second you broke up with somebody, they went back to their old ex and got married. And it's like, well, then that's what you always wanted, isn't it?
Yeah. Or that's
like we didn't work out, so who gives a shit? But I'm going to say this to my friends. It's interesting. You obviously always wanted that. And this was
agree,
second
but
best.
also that also could be who you go to when you feel desperate or lonely or just like you're in that manic state like I sometimes go either manic or depressive right after a breakup or something big. So it might just be where you go where you're over emotional. I don't know. But also you're right. Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith flashed a big smile on the red carpet after her first public appearance since Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
That's great. That's going to be her first public appearance since her husband did this thing.
Yeah.
Like, why are we basing this as my first, It's not her first public appearance since the Oscars. Now it has to be this.
She remains mum about the slap. Will has been banned from the Oscars for 10 years over the incident. So
I'm not here on the red carpet to talk to you about my husband slapping someone.
But it's still weird to be on the red carpet then. That's
of course.
weird to me. Take the side door today if you don't want to talk about it.
It's weird, but that's also pretty cool. Like, I'm still going to come to the parties that I said yes to, and I don't have to discuss this with people until I want to. Fuck you. I'm invited.
Which makes me think, speaking of Ben Affleck, watch that movie, Deep Water. It's not good, but it's funny thinking about the slap.
Damn, I gotta watch that.
Deep Water. I did see the movie Good Here, the Chris Rock movie from 2009, because I want to be able to talk about all this stuff, and some people don't know what my place is.
Are you just holding on to that movie ticket? Like, I'm allowed to talk about it. You pull
Yeah.
out a movie ticket card.
Yeah. Yeah, I show him. It's like, Keith, you don't know about black hair. I'm like, I watched this documentary, Good Hair. I think I do. I think I do.
I actually saw this years ago, maybe when it first came out.
Fucking horrible. It's such a horrible movie.
Really? I thought all that movie was supposed to be was informative, and I think it was.
I didn't learn about. I assumed that, like, I understand the idea of black Africans being kings and queens. Give me 5 minutes on that. Nothing on that. I assume that's related to the hair. Nothing on that. They bring up for like 2 seconds about companies not letting black women have their own hair. You have to look more white. It's heartbreaking, but it's really 2 seconds, and then they move on. Then they explain how about relaxer and how, people feel they have to have straight hair to be pretty, but it really fucks with your scalp. They go to barbershops and salons, and the women are like, yeah, hold on as long as you can as it's burning. And then when it's too much, you take it off real quick. Hey, I know what that's like, by the way.
Oh boy.
My mom gave me a perm. My mom used a relaxer. I had to go to school with those really tiny curls. That's what I had to do. Don't act like I can't talk about things. I went to school with blue suede shoes, a suitcase with a key lock, plastic bags in my boots. Don't know why I didn't get laid till I was 18. Can't figure that one the fuck out. Because I was out of school and I met people that didn't know I had perms and suitcases for backpacks.
All right, you did the perming your hair was relative, but then you went on some weird tangent that has nothing to do with it. Yes, you grew up weird.
It all goes together.
So your
for
mom,
me,
your mom was a hairdresser, so she was
Yes.
practicing on you.
I guess so, but the practice doesn't go away that night. A perm stays.
It's because it's short for permanent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's permanent enough. Why do you think I'm shaved my head now? And then they go into the movie talks about weaves and how intricate they are. And it's like, okay, I believe you. And then Chris Rock would make these jokes like, there should be weave airlines. And you get on a plane, and when you're done, your weave is done. And they're just looking at him like, okay. And I think he's waiting for a laugh, but he kept it in. And he goes, weave airlines, I'm saying. Like, okay.
That's
And
a great
scene.
idea. That's a great idea. I forgot about that. That's such a good idea. It takes hours. You're just sitting there.
Right. And then I don't think he knew what was going on in his own movie sometimes. For example, he talks about how expensive all this hair care stuff is. And then a woman is feeling the burn, on her head, literally. And she's like, oh, I'm paying for it now, meaning the pain. And he goes, oh, you're spending a lot of money now. And she just looks at him like, yeah, I don't think you get what I said, but who cares? End of scene. And he watched his own movie. And then at one point, like Koreans are big with making the hair for black people, as well as India. He's at a trade show, and he goes, oh, so being Korean, that's a big thing. And this woman goes, no, I'm Chinese. And so he hugs her and goes, oh, sorry. Then talks to somebody else and goes, so being Chinese, no, I'm Korean. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry, and hugs. End of scene.
Well, that's very manipulative. Like, oh, look, I fuck up, but like we say sorry right away. And I don't know. That just seemed like it was like, I fucked up, but we're cool.
And he loves his sayings. He loves making a reference to sickle cell. Like, people get sickle cell, I guess, more than other races. But he has, those phrases. Sickle cell, he loves to say. He loves to say something has more band members than Earth, Wind, and Fire. He loves to say keep her off the pole, and loves to say keep him off the pipe. And all these non-punchlines are throughout the movie.
In all fairness, this has always been sort of like Chris Rock in a movie. You'll hear the lines from a stand-up, and they'll repeat if they're relative to a different scene in a different movie.
But but it was really forced. I guess I'd rather I'd rather, a little girl, a couple years old is getting a perm. It's shocking. It's sad. And then Chris Rock goes, I guess it's better than her not being on the pole. I was like, okay, I guess. But aren't you the best?
It's so interesting that you said you haven't learned anything, but you just mentioned a whole bunch of stuff that you learned. Also, there was an
I
episode,
did
Blackish
I?
is a really good sitcom. There was an episode about that, about how the mom is perming the very young daughter's hair and the grandma is opposed to it. Like, why don't you just let her go natural? And the mom is like, please don't make me feel guilty. I have it's very time consuming to do her hair if it's not
Yeah.
permed.
What? I don't think I learned anything. I knew about relaxer. I understand a weave costs a lot. Then they got into a segment. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get an answer to this. Why can't you touch the black woman's hair that you're fucking? And they talked to all these black men. None of them knew why either. And that was the end of the segment. They're like, because it costs a lot, I guess, but I'd rather you didn't have it then. I'd rather be able to touch you all over. That was the whole segment of that lesson.
Well, I'll
Somebody
tell
said,
you,
when's
as
the last time you were able to touch your wife's hair? And the guy goes, 86 before the crash. Now things are just too expensive.
you know how Kyle doesn't like when you kiss her after she puts on lipstick?
Right. The point of lipstick. Yeah, I don't want you without the lipstick. Do I have to
It's
do the
it's
history of
kind
lipstick now?
no, but it's kind of like that. It's like your hair
Yeah.
is set, and then and also like there have been like a lot of my life people have asked to touch my hair, and
I understand that.
it
That's
always felt
different.
really weird. No, but part of it is like, oh, you're gonna feel the product in there. You're gonna move it around in a way that like I know you don't think is consequential, but it's set. I know it looks wild and free to you, but it's set a certain way. So it's from that perspective. And also, this is an extension of me. It's like asking to touch my shoulder. You're still touching me, but there are those other things as well.
I get head rubs like people are putting voodoo on a bowling ball.
We're not saying that's good,
No, I'm just saying. I
and we're
think
not saying
everybody has it.
I'm not saying it's exclusive. I'm saying the part that you might not know is the it's set, not just don't touch my hair because don't touch my
Right.
hair. It's also set a certain way. Like don't rub my lipstick either. Don't ask me if that's a real eyebrow and then try to mush the eyeliner. Like that's
But then,
weird.
like half the movie is, he didn't have enough for this. Half the movie is you
A
follow
trip
these
to
people.
India.
For no reason, he goes, "We're gonna go to India."
Really?
This
I
guy
thought that
mentioned
was
somebody in Montana. We're gonna go to Montana now. I think he was just filling shit up.
well, sure. You want to go on trips and and tell the
Sure.
tax man that it's
Yeah.
deductible. I get
Okay.
that, but the India trip I thought was really interesting because most of the hair comes from India, and it's sacrifices. And this is what I thought was really interesting is they require the Indian women to shave their head, or it's
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's a
understood. It's
sacrifice.
understood. Yeah, and you
Right.
could be
You're
a
sort
young
of
girl too. These girls are crying.
yeah, so they grow their hair really long and then they have the church or the whatever religion, I forget what religion is.
Right.
They have them shave it off and so that you can kind of stay modest and don't let your hair, be too much. But then they sell it to black women in America.
Yeah, and then
So they're
Chris Rock
asking
came in
these
with like what we would understand black hair is, and tried to sell it in bodegas and shops, and they're like, "No, nobody wants this. They want that." So yeah, that I did learn. That has nothing to do with this Chris Rock, Will Smith, and black women's hair. If
no one's
anything, it's
saying,
more about India, I would think. And oh, fascinating! I didn't know that.
but that's just his movie is called Hair. His movie is not after I say an alopecia joke, watch my hair documentary, and then
I
decide if I
understand.
get to say that joke. That's still about hair and where black women get their hair here.
Sure, but
It was
yes,
so good. It didn't give you
so
enough
good.
information. We're talking about it for how long? And you're
India,
giving me
India.
most of
I
the
learned. I learned the
information.
India thing.
That's a big thing. You
That's
learned
one
like
thing.
5 different things.
No, I didn't name 5
You've
different.
been talking most of this time. I only brought up the Indian thing.
Let's relaxer. It burns. I know that. Men don't understand why they can't touch their girlfriend's hair. I still don't know why they can't. They don't know either. It's because it costs a lot. That's the whole answer. That's it. I learned that he thinks it's very funny to talk about spending a lot of money on hair. You're going to need foreclosure. He calls it hair closure. He thinks it's clever. I know because he says it 3 times.
Okay.
Okay.
That
Well, I
one
guess
I'll
I
give
learned
you.
a lot. Maybe I learned a lot in fucking that Apple TV show. Maybe I'm learning. I just don't process all the things I'm learning. But I could be the smartest man alive. I just don't know how to access
That
it.
is the perfect takeaway.
I'm just saying.
You're the smartest man alive.
So then they do for no fucking reason, but maybe it's a huge reason, and it'll just come to me 50 years from now. They do hair cutting shows, and they dance on stage and cut hair, but they do that haircut where it's like this woman has a lot of hair, so you just quickly cut at it anywhere, and then it still looks kind of spiky and different. But if you're sitting there up close, it doesn't look too good.
It's a show. It's a hair show.
It's like a drag show.
Yeah.
And then
in that it's very big, it's exaggerated.
But I'm just thinking of our forums, and I'm thinking about a certain amount of black women that said Chris Rock made a documentary about hair, Kate, and you didn't even bother looking. And I want to say I looked, and I don't think Chris Rock learned a fucking thing, and so I'm on his side even more.
I don't know that he was making an alopecia joke, but I get how it is an alopecia joke because she has alopecia.
They said he talked about alopecia in this movie. And yeah, I guess he did. At hour 17, some woman said, I have alopecia, so I don't want to be embarrassed, so I shave it off. That was the end of that alopecia segment. That was the whole segment. And then at the end of it, I saw, I read the credits. I'm so into this. And it said, security for Mr. Rock. I'm like, oh, now for this, he has security.
Oh, I see. I feel like also, even if you do a hair documentary, you still get to tell hair jokes. And I know alopecia is a disease, but you're losing your hair, and that's the reference. We can go on and on. That's the thing.
Somebody sued Chris Rock at the time.
I can't believe you thought you'd learn nothing. All right, let's continue.
I didn't. That black people get their hair from India. That's what I learned. They might not even know it. That's what I learned. I didn't learn anything else. I didn't.
You didn't know those shows go on.
I didn't know there were drag shows about hair.
And also, I don't know that it's just for Keith Malley. You might have known some of that stuff, but growing up, you might not have known that because there might not have been black people around you. I remember when I first learned about, I was working on Jamaica Avenue, which is a mostly black neighborhood, and somebody I worked with, I asked her about something. I said, oh, you changed up your hair. And she goes, oh, sweetie, this is not my hair. And she moved her wig. And I'm like, oh, and she looked at me like, you need to start knowing something. And I was like, oh, and I looked around. And I'm like, I see it all now. I had no idea. And I grew up in Queens, but up until then, I was going to an all Jewish school. My parents were, only putting me around like Israeli people. So I had no idea. Start going to public school. I'd start getting a job. You're around other people. Boom.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I learned that black hair mostly comes from India. And I learned, to be fair, that salt and pepper, one of the two spices, is bald, at least on half her hair. You can see it in the Push It video, from relaxer being on too long. So these are two things that I definitely learned. So anyway, somebody made a film called Before Good Hair called My Nappy Roots, A Journey Through Black Heritage. And Regina Kimball sued Chris Rock, saying it's too close to good hair. I bet she made a good movie, and it's like people are confused and they think it's this shit. Even the title's better. Oh, well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Henda? I'm trying to do my research over here. I'm trying.
Good.
I'm fucking...
Would you like a biscuit for trying?
Yeah, I would. I would like a biscuit.
You don't get one. You just get the knowledge.
Because Scott Perez Fox won't give me one. All I got is all this fucking knowledge that I can't repeat to nobody. Great. Oh, my God.
He says until Mike.
Let me tell you about Policy Genius, okay? Because I'm going to fucking kill myself over here. Policy Genius is about life insurance. They're a marketplace working to help insurance shoppers understand their options, compare quotes, buy a policy all in one place. They're not the insurance company per se. They're the marketplace that does the research for you, and you don't pay extra for them doing that research. PolicyGenius1word.com. You'll answer a few questions. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes. That's it. Policy Genius doesn't add extra fees. Policy Genius doesn't sell your info to third parties. They have thousands of 5-star reviews across Google and Trustpilot. Head to policygenius.com to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save. You're welcome.
Like instead of watching 100 YouTube videos that show you all different kinds of information that you have to piece together, you go to policygenius.com.
Here's a shocking story, Kenta. Extreme Makeover Wrong Home Edition, says this weird but true section. Listen to this.
Stop it.
A woman is suing a construction company after it mistakenly demolished her house in Mobile, Alabama. So we've heard stories like this before. The construction company typed in the wrong address, showed up, and demolished a house that they weren't supposed to. Did you ever think, like, what is it? You know what? I've been a waiter now that I think about it, and I've taken back like 3/4 of a filet mignon and was expected to throw it in the garbage. And I'm like, do they appreciate anything? I guess sometimes construction people see a house and they're like, people just don't appreciate what they have because this is a beautiful house. Anyway, instead of making extra phone calls, let's start bulldozing it. So they destroy this woman's house.
It's so strange because you're demolishing the entire house. You would think that there's like a little more paperwork. The DMV has more paperwork just to get into the line. I mean, this isn't a Starbucks cup that you're like, oh, I ordered ahead and I took the wrong person's cup. You know, they don't monitor that. In fact, go around 9 a.m. to any Starbucks in New York City and you can get yourself a hot cocoa, a latte, whatever you want. People are grabbing those cups. But you would think there's a little more paperwork, like you're there. You still have to talk to someone else. There's a picture that actually could be emailed or in the file. This is what the house looks like. If it's a cookie cutter house, look for like, you know, some kind of indication. They just go from place to place and demolish whatever address it says. There's no checks or balances.
It's very strange. Did you knock and be like, I guess no one's there?
Right.
We're
They
safe.
cleared the house for
like
me.
Somebody could have been in there. They're sleeping. They're anything. Out of town when it happened. Thank goodness. This woman says she was especially heartbroken. You could just be heartbroken, fine, but okay. Especially heartbroken because she grew up in that house. Cops said that they couldn't do anything because it wasn't a criminal matter. It was an honest mistake.
What?
This is what I'd be so nervous about, moving to a different town, right? And they're like, oh, we have good schools. Yeah, great pasta place right by your house, right? And then you learn later, like, I wouldn't know. Do I ask, what's your accidental wreckage policy on houses? Can you imagine you live in a fucking town where it's an honest mistake if you break my house and you don't have to do anything about it because, oops, we've all made mistakes.
It's a weird thing to say right on the spot, but if you think about it, like, who are you arresting?
You don't. I'm not saying prison. You put money. This is why you have insurance. Whatever you have, I get my house back.
Yeah, of course, but that's not the cop. That's the insurance. The cop can't arrest anyone. He's not helping your case with the insurance, but the insurance is a different thing. The cop is saying, I can't do anything because there's no crime here.
Yeah.
But I don't see how it's not a crime because if I hit my car into another car, that's a crime. I don't know. Accidents are crimes sometimes.
What if I beat my own car because it's a piece of shit and I'm getting my aggression out? Oops, wrong car. It looked just like mine. Well, that's an honest mistake.
That would be a perfect way to get a new house. Get the wrong demolishing thing.
Right.
Just go like, here, I'll split it with you. This is the house I grew up in. It's falling apart. Okay. I've been in it that long. My grandmother's been in it. It's time to go.
All right. Let's go over what we learned today, Kenda, because there was a lot.
Nothing.
It or not.
Oh, we did. Okay.
See? I don't know which way I stand. All right. Don't trust Google Docs autocorrect. Okay. Maybe you want to tell somebody, hey, my dad whacked off to me. Don't have it changed to my dad whacked me off. You know, you gotta pay attention and be very clever. Apple TV Plus, apparently, everybody learned a lot. And congratulations. I'm glad you're very, very pleased. I guess you see a good movie like Jojo Rabbit and your head fucking explodes. But anyway, apparently you and your family loved it, and that's fantastic. All right? Here's a bunch of letter pieces. I sincerely appreciate you all that wrote in. I'm sorry the audience can give a fuck. For you, your feelings and how your life got better, whether it gives them a life lesson themselves or not. All right. New Supreme Court nominee. That's exciting stuff. Hopefully we'll make the world a better place. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are together, and I'm sure all their exes are happy. Good hair. Again, you know what? Everybody's going to love it. Everybody's going to love it. 95% of Rotten Tomatoes. I guess they know and not me. Okay. Fantastic. And if you knock down somebody's house, I don't know. You've made mistakes. And that's that. Keith and the Girl Week. It's coming up. Get your tickets right now. KeithandTheGirl.com/tickets. Are you a VIP member? Are you a very important person? Now, you're listening to this, so you're definitely an IP member. But are you VIP? That's the way to go, and it's going to save you on tickets this whole weekend. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Movie night, silent trailers, poker, Jackbox games, Jeopardy. Holy shit. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. You'll see everything right there in your dashboard. All right? Thank you, everybody, very much. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.